Hey guys, so today we are going to do another story time video. And this time we are reading a fun little book called Little Joe Chickapig. This is Little Joe right here. He is a Chickapig. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. And this book is by Brian Calhoun, and it is illustrated by Pat Bradley and Brian Calhoun. So before we start reading, let's talk about it a little bit. Have any of you guys ever had really big dreams and had really big goals and things that you wanted to do, and they were really big ideas? If you have, then you have a lot in common with our main character, Joe. Okay, so this is Joe. Joe is a chicken. He is a hybrid. He is half chicken and half pig. And there's the dictionary definition of what it means to be a chickapig. Right there. So a hybrid, half chicken, half pig. So to set the scene, Joe here, our new friend, he lives on a chickapig farm. And he has these really big dreams. So that's all I'm going to tell you before reading. And now we're going to start the story. Okay. So, here we go. So, Little Joe Chickapig lived on a farm full of chickapigs and chickapig charm. For Little Joe Chickapig, still just a boy, the farm full of chickapigs brought him no joy. So there's Little Joe, our main character. There he is sitting by a tree. He doesn't want to be on the farm. It said it brought him no joy. Let's see why. He dreamed of new places beyond the fields, sailing vast oceans with swords and with shields. He hoped he'd find courage to follow his heart, but how could he do it? How could he start? So there's the swords and shields he's thinking about. The Chickapig farm was all that he knew, with its crops and fields and cows that pooed, and birds and bees and horses and goats. Why was he dreaming of castles and moats? Wow. So there's the farm he lives on. He's got his animal friends. He's got his cow, and in the back he's got horses. And there's other chickapigs that are working on the farm. Joe had an old grandpa, brave and bold, a chickapig hero who broke the mold. Joe had an old grandpa, a sailor of the seas, a chickapig hero who lived so free. So there's Joe's grandpa sailing the seas. And there's all the sea creatures. Okay. But how did he do it? How? How did he go? How did he do it? How did he know? To follow his heart against the tide. How did he do it? The young chickapig cried. So there's Joe. He's wondering how his grandpa did all those things. I'll tell you a tale, his mother said. I'll tell you a tale before I put you to bed. Grandpa back then, he was scared too. Grandpa back then did not know what to do. So there's Joe's mama. She's going to tell him the story. Grandpa had heard a story told of a great bear who broke the mold. The bear was tired of striking fear in all who saw him and all who came near. The bear had learned quite a skill to heal the sick and those struck ill. Oh, wow. So we got our bear there, and he's going to be a doctor. He's going to heal everyone that's ill. A doctor he became, my son, to heal the wounds of everyone. And those who used to run away now stood before him every day. So all the little animals that used to run away from the bear come to see him and get his help so he can fix them up and be a good doctor. The bear saw patients one by one. Never again would anyone run. The bear became a friend, you see, to every creature beneath the trees. So there's all the creatures in the trees. But how? How did he do it? How did he go? How did he do it? How did he know? To follow his heart against the tide. How did he do it? The Chickapig cried. So there's the bear. And Joe's still asking, how did the bear do it? Let's find out. So, the bear found courage from the strangest place. He heard of a mouse who went to space. That's crazy. Have you ever heard of such a thing? A mouse going to space? I haven't heard of anything like that before. The mouse, she traveled to the moon and Mars. The mouse, she traveled amongst the stars. Her ship it soared from Earth to space, but in that world she found her place. So there's the mouse. She's all in space. But how? How did she do it? How did she go? How did she do it? How did she know? To follow her heart against the tide. How did she do it? The young Chickapig cried. Well, the mouse, she heard a story told of a fierce young dragon, brave and bold. There's the dragon, brave and bold. The dragon was known across the land. She gave up her kingdom to join a band. She sang her songs, she strummed her guitar. Her music was heard both near and far. And there's our dragon friend playing a song. But how? How did she go? How did she do it? How did she know to follow her heart against the tide? How did she do it? The young Chickapig cried. There's the rest of the dragon's band. So, there was a warrior from that land back before the dragon's band. There's our Chickapig warrior. And he was a Chickapig, just like you, filled with wonder and feeling blue. Tired of shields and swords to wield, he laid down his weapons and planted a field. Wow, so there's the weapons. He laid them down, and now he's going to plant him a field. The Chickapig farm became all that he knew, with its crops and fields and cows that pooed, and birds and bees and horses and goats, and never thought of castles and moats. Now, Joe, my child, I hope you see, follow your dreams, whatever they be, and one day in the future, when you are old, maybe your very own story just might be told. So he got his bedtime story. His mom sang goodnight. So maybe Joe will follow his dreams. Okay, guys, that's the end of our story. So now that it's done, let's talk about it some. Okay, so I got some questions for you guys now that we've read. What do you think that this story teaches us about following our dreams? Okay, good job. So this story teaches us that it's important to follow our dreams, whatever they may be. And just because we have a big goal, a goal that doesn't seem reachable, if we work hard enough, maybe we can obtain those goals and follow our dreams and do whatever we feel we want to do. So our next question, what can we infer that Joe will do when he gets older? So when we infer, we think about what the book says and what we know about the character, and we make a guess. We assume something about the book and about the character. So I think I'm inferring that when Joe gets older, he is going to follow his dreams. If Joe wants to leave the farm and do something different, I think he will. But maybe he might decide to stick around. I don't know. So also, what did this story teach us about individuals and their differences? So this story had a lot of characters. All of these characters were different individuals. They were different people. And every individual that they mentioned was different from their normal group of people. For instance, we have the bear. There are many, many bears in the world, but there's not very many bears that want to be a doctor and that become a doctor. You know, we had the mouse. There's many mice in the world, but not many went to space. So they're different. They're very different from everyone else in their group. And we have little Joe, who's on a farm, a Chickapig farm, and he's an individual and he's different from everyone else on the farm. You know, we see everyone else in the pictures happy and they're walking on the farm, and they seem to be okay with farm life, except for Joe. So he was an individual and he was different, and that was okay. I think that's what the story is trying to tell us, that it's okay to be different from everyone else. So if you guys are watching this, you're probably a student somewhere, maybe in a kindergarten classroom, a first grade classroom, maybe preschool, maybe not yet, but getting there. So I want to know, what do you guys want to do when you grow up? When you get big, what do you want to do one day? When I was little, when I was probably your age, I wanted to be a ballerina. I thought being a ballerina would be the coolest job. But as I got older, I realized that maybe ballerinas have to work really, really hard and do a lot of training, and I didn't think I was up for that. So I had to choose a different job that I wanted to do. So let me know, what do you guys want to do someday? Okay, for our final question, what do we think the main moral? Remember, if you haven't learned the word moral, it means a lesson. What are we supposed to learn from this? What message is the book sending us? So what is the moral that the story is trying to teach us? This is kind of a hard question. This one might be a little tricky. But I think the book wants us to remember that we can have big, big dreams and big goals. And if we put our mind to it and we really, really want to do it, I think we can accomplish those goals. I think that's what the book is trying to teach us. Okay, guys, that's it for this story time. Hope you enjoyed it.